Welcome to Uncrowned Gaming's first ever game review. We'll be looking at the hit release Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, although that is Roman numeral 2, not the actual number 2, because that'd be a whole different Call of Duty game and that's just confusing. Yay for modern naming schemes. Oh well. Overall, I pretty much enjoy all the changes they added to this game, and most of the new systems are actually quite positive in my opinion. However, there are some key features, not so much directly with the new game, but with Call of Duty as a whole, that make this review more of a thumbs down than a thumbs up. But first, let us go through the good. The gameplay itself is extremely solid. In fact, it may end up being my favorite Call of Duty game of all time. And I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4 came out, the original Modern Warfare. And not the original 2019 Modern Warfare, the original, no, let's not get into it. But I've been playing a lot of Call of Duties, and I believe I played all of them. I might have skipped one or two in the middle. But I actually really enjoy this game. The gunfighting is extremely crisp. The strafing is not where I want it to be, but it is extremely crisp. It is very clean. Most gunfights, I mean, yeah, they're who's eat each other's who first, but they are all very normal. It's just head-to-head gunfighting. There's not much in the middle. Not a whole lot that equipment plays a part in. You're not dying to random things, at least anything more than an average Call of Duty. And the maps are all good. I don't think any are exceptionally good, but none are really bad. There's nothing that I really dislike playing in this game. The border crossing map is controversial, I guess you can say, with the player base. Many people don't like it. It definitely plays very different than a Call of Duty game. It normally does, but sometimes different is good. In fact, some of the best maps there ever was were different maps, because at the end of the day, a little bit of variety never hurts anything. And when you play this game long enough, that variety is going to pay off eventually. I don't dislike it. Once I learn to adjust my playstyle to it, I'm doing perfectly fine on it. There are some that I just don't fit my playstyle well, but I'm not exactly going to take a point off of the maps because I don't fit the playstyle well. I will say that it seems like the worst maps are the ones they took from the invasion mode, and they cut down the size to fit 6v6, and I think that's just kind of a cheap out on the map modes. But it is what it is. None are bad. I don't quit any games because the map is horrendous. All of them play like fairly good 6v6 maps. There's really nothing exotic like how Shipment and all those were that were just massive chaos mode maps. Nothing like that, on launch at least, although they have a lot of maps planned for this game. So we'll see what the future looks like there. And yeah, overall, very favorable of this game. I love most of the new systems that they implemented. We'll go over here in a second. And I guess that shouldn't be too surprising, as they mostly took features that people loved in other games and maps people loved in other games, and pretty much they plan to bring them over to this one to make it the future Call of Duty for the next 2 years. So kind of uninspiring right there, but it is what it is, and it works out well for the players. I enjoy it. So what about these new features? Well, the first one, let's get right into it, is the gun system. The gun unlock system, the gun frame system. And while I think a lot of people complain that they can't just unlock the gun they want with ease and use that gun and get all the stuff for it, and I understand those complaints, but I actually find myself enjoying the gun system. It forces variety. It makes you play with weapons you probably would not have played with before. There are many Call of Duties that there were guns that I never leveled up once. I looked at them and went, not for me. And then I complained there's not enough variety in the game. So this is kind of forcing the variety upon you. And I think in the long run, that's going to help out the players, help out the community, and help out the longevity of the game. This game's going to be here for 2 years. Give people something to do. So, what do I mean by that? Well, when you get into a class here, you can see, obviously, you can pick your guns. And you will see that there's a good assortment. You got assault rifles, you got battle rifles. Now, granted, everyone knows that the assault rifles are classic assault rifles from every Call of Duty game. Battle rifles are kind of more of a beefier, heavy hitting, mostly semi-automatic assault rifles. SMGs, same as every other game, nice assortment of those. Shotguns, light machine guns. Marksman rifles are now, they're harder hitting than battle rifles are, but they're still mostly, pretty much predominantly semi-auto. There are some bolt action ones in here. Then you have your standard sniper rifles, and then melee, which is a riot shield. But you will see, and just to show you, we do have your standard assortment of secondary weapons. But the controversial feature is right here. You can see that if I want to unlock this gun, I don't have to level up my character, I have to level up a separate gun, the Lockman 762. Let's go over to, I think it's an assault rifle. It is not. Yeah, I looked right at it. The Lockman 762. You can see it's level 4. It is a battle rifle. It is an entirely different gun in an entirely different category. Automatic battle rifles are pretty similar, but you'll see to unlock LMGs, let's go to the Ralph H, you need to unlock the Lockman 556, which we're going down the same family tree. Assault rifle LMGs, not exactly similar. So that is the unlock feature. And when you actually get into a gun, so let's get into our gunsmith, you will see you have your attachments. You can pick 5 attachments per gun, pretty standard. But when you go into these attachments, now there's a lot unlocked from this gun, because I pretty much have the whole Kalashnikov family fully leveled up and unlocked. But you'll see, to unlock this ammo, I need to level up a different gun. And many things on this gun are going to be like that. To unlock this grip, I need to level up an LMG. So that is how the unlock works. And on top of that, your camo system is the same way. Now you have your mastery camos. That's pretty much just pile up with a single weapon. But all of your standard camos, instead of being challenge-based and achievement-based and all that fun stuff from past games, you now have to unlock them by leveling up a gun, which is generally not the gun you're using. And then you have to, I believe it's only kills, everything seems to be kills so far, get so many kills with that gun to unlock the camo for every gun. So you can see, I have, let's just see, I have Kill Bush unlocked, and this is unlocked for every gun because I got it with that gun. Once I got it unlocked, every gun can use this camo. So the nice thing is once you, if you want to rush a camo, you know, if you really, really, really love, you know, I don't know, this camo here, you go, oh, I need to unlock the RPK, I need to level up the RPK, then you get 10 double kills with the RPK. And then you have this camo, which might be a lot quicker than getting this gun to level 70 or whatever, and then getting so many, you know, crouched kills with it. So if you are dedicated to certain camos, I find myself very fond of the multicam or kill bush, whatever you want to call it, and I unlocked that relatively early, and I pretty much been using that on my guns. So plus minus, up to you. I enjoy it. It makes me use other stuff. If I want to unlock something, I have to challenge myself with a different gun. So I like it. You will see this receiver system in here, where you can change the gun that the gun is, and I mean, that's cool. I could turn this into the RPK machine gun right through the gunsmith, but I don't really know who's going to use this feature. I'm not going to use this feature. If I want to make a machine gun class, I'm going to make a custom class for a machine gun, and I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to go into my guns, and I'm going to look for LMGs and pick the one and go from there. I'm not going to go into my gunsmith and then try to craft a AR into an LMG, because there's no benefit for doing that. You just end up with the LMG you should have started with. So it's cool, it's in there, it's a feature. I don't really know who's going to use it. But I do like the gunsmith. I like the gun unlocks, I like the gunsmiths, and you can come in here and you can actually see the whole family of guns. As you see, like I said, the whole Kalashnikov family, or what is it? Kostovia? We'll go with Kostovia. I have it all unlocked. But if I go into here, I do not have these all unlocked. So this shows you how to unlock them, whether you go through this tree itself or you go to the gun itself. Not that hard to figure out. Standard equipment. Field upgrades, you get to swap between the two once you get enough levels to unlock the upgrade. Number 2, nothing unique there. But perks. The perk system has been revamped for the first time, I think pretty much ever in a Call of Duty. At least a major revamp. You get 2 base perks. You get a bonus perk that unlocks about halfway through about a quarter way through the match, and then you get an ultimate perk that's about halfway through the match. It goes by different variables, but basically we'll just put it like that. And you also get these in perk packages. You get 6 preset packages, which is actually very nice because you can see pretty much every perk is in here. So if you have to use Ghost, that's a level 52 unlock, you can use the Phantom package at level 1, and you have Ghost. You're stuck with Cold-Blooded, Double Time, and Battle Hardened, but it is nice. You can use perks pretty much at any level, so that's pretty cool. I can't really say anything bad about the preset packages. The perk packs in general, I also really can't say anything bad about, except something that makes no sense to me. Your custom perk packages over here, you can have 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 5. Your custom loadouts, you can have 10. Now, as you can see, my first 6 loadouts all use the same perk package. And then from there, I vary to make up the 5 total perk packages. It works for me. I didn't actually improvise to do this. That's the way I would have done it either way. But if you are, as you can see, my first 6 don't vary very often. But if yours vary a lot, you might run out of perk packages. And there is nothing you can do to add more custom packages. Now, how much variety you're going to use, maybe some of the preset ones will fit. I think it'll work for most people, but it just seems very odd that you're only allowed 5. So overall, excuse me, I'm pretty indifferent about my perk packages. I don't really care. I will say that I'm pretty disconnected from the from the bonus perk and the ultimate perk because I don't get them the whole game, and honestly, none of them are very game-changing. I mean, High Alert, Ghost is nice, but I mean, faster regen, faster equipment, Last Stand, Bird's Eye kind of affects the minimap. I mean, nothing in here is going to force the other team to change their game style. Nothing's going to drastically make you improve or decline in a game. So I pretty much get very disconnected from these 2 perks. I don't really focus on them too much because I don't have them at the whole match. So I guess it is technically the system has gotten worse since I don't really care about 2 of the perks anymore. Although I guess it's not a huge issue. But it seems like they wanted to make a new system and they just forced a new system into the spot that didn't need any help or change. But that's just my opinion. Otherwise, everything in here is pretty normal. I mean, all the kill streaks are pretty much your standard Call of Duty kill streaks. Nothing special, nothing new. Everything works the same as you'd expect it to. Yeah, so overall, I do pretty much like the majority of systems they added. I know the unlock system is a bit of a hot topic right now, but I actually find it beneficial. it sucks when you first jump into the game and you don't have the gun you want and you can't just directly level up to get that gun. And then once you get that gun, you have to level up other guns to get the attachments you want for that gun. Yeah, it kind of sucks. But once you get a basic setup going, once you get your basic class set up, then you can start using other stuff, and it all kind of falls into place. So, I don't mind it. I actually enjoy it. The perk system is kind of, not really sure why I did that, but there that is. But I guess we'll go on to the cons of the game. And, well, we'll do one more pro. One more pro. And this is, the first con's going to be the unstable launch. But the last pro is going to be, and I'm not going to Halo Infinite my name, but they had to cut stuff for launch. And you can see we're missing hardcore, we're missing a lot of different modes in here. You know, your quick play modes are pretty much all in here, but there's stuff missing. Modes are missing, game types are missing, maps are missing. Some of the gun unlocks are either locked out or not there. Weapon tuning is locked out. Yeah, they cut some features. But what they did also cut is there is no battle pass. There's no battle pass at the beginning, so they can't sell you a battle pass. And in the store is only their endowment package. So, and I'll gladly promote this for them because the Call of Duty endowment fundraiser, donation, charity, I guess it's charity, is actually very good. It's well regarded. I've only heard good things about it. So they had to cut features, and the only thing that they pushed into this game to sell you is a charity package. And I'm actually going to give them a pro for that. I think that's really nice. They didn't cut the operators, they didn't cut down kill streak, didn't cut down more stuff so they can force in their battle pass on day one or force in cosmetics on day one. They put that off to the side. Now we know Activision doesn't really need more money, so whoop-de-doo, but I'll give them that pro. But the cons, and let's just keep where we're going, and that is the launch. Some features were cut. I actually think this game launched with enough features that the average gamer is happy. The majority of weapons are in it. Pretty much all the attachments, perks, kill streaks, vehicles, a lot of maps. You have good variety. The third-person mode made it in, the new prisoner rescue modes, the invasion mode was kind of like a mini battlefield type of mode, ground war. You have some co-op stuff, the full campaign, and the campaign was actually pretty awesome. I love the campaign. The storyline, don't get too hung up on the realism side of the story itself, because, well, I guess America's always been kind of wishy-washy with what a war crime is, so we'll just discuss it for another day. But don't, I love the campaign. The campaign was great. So a lot of all your classic casual game modes are in here. Yeah, we're missing hardcore. I know that's a lot of people love their hardcore modes. We're missing our ranked modes. So that stuff should be coming with Season 1 in later November. But most of the stuff is here. The game, however, has been fairly, shall I say, unstable. It's been crashing a lot of graphical errors. You'll see my graphic settings right now are not at their peak. Where's this zoomed in one? I guess the operators. They're pretty low. And that is because when I set my settings to what NVIDIA recommends, or even to what the game recommends when I start the game, my GPU usage will be maybe 50%, and the game's only going to go for about an hour before it crashes. An hour is being very generous. So if I start up in safe mode where graphics are at a minimum, they will run for about 5 hours and be mostly crash free. So that's what I do. I don't have an explanation with it. None of my hardware is maxed out. The game runs just fine. It just randomly likes to crash. And if you look at online reviews, everyone's dealing with crashing issues, server issues, lag issues, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of fixes for it. being in safe mode settings kind of helps me a little bit, but it's definitely not completely safe. So that's a problem. Not a stable day one launch. If you go into their messages of the day, nothing about it. They're pretty much shut the door. Don't talk to us, we won't inform you. No big day one patch, no nothing. So not ideal. Not ideal on that one. They do seem to be improving things on the back end. I did have some graphical flickers and stuff like that, and those are now gone. So they are doing stuff on the back end. They're just not telling us, and since it's a live service and we don't see all the changes and get patches and all that stuff, we can't really tell. So yay for that. But another con, and you probably have seen it as we've gone through here, is the UI. And I guess this is more of a preference thing, because it does work. The UI absolutely does work. And for like the modes, this is adequate. I have no issue with this menu. It's adequate. Mouse and keyboard, you know, it works. Works just fine. It's fine. But once we get over here to the stuff you're going to use a lot, let's go to a loadout. So I have my 10 custom loadouts. Well, we got to scroll. Why do we have to scroll? There's no reason to scroll. Mouse and keyboard, oh, we still got to scroll. You know, there's nothing in here that makes sense to scroll. You go into your class, go into your weapons. Well, you gotta scroll. I don't really understand. You know, ammunition. What else? A lot of. Ooh. Okay. Well, speaking of game bugs, that will add to one of them. So you go in here. You know, go to your stock. And it's just like, yeah, everything's in here. But you'll see there's a stock equipped. And this is not comparing these two stocks. So if we unequip the stock, you can see we are not comparing those two stocks. We are comparing it to the base of the gun. These stats don't make sense. They're not numbered stats. They're inaccurate bar graphs. We're back to the bar graphs. I don't know why, but we are. So the UI itself reminds me of like some ancient arcade machine I would find in a pizza shop somewhere 20 years ago. It doesn't feel like what a AAA should be. We've lost a lot of our information. We're back to bar graphs. We're back to like a simplified UI. I would say they were going for like a mobile UI. I don't know why they've been going for a mobile UI, but honestly, this would be a pretty awful mobile UI if you asked my opinion on that as well. So I don't know. I don't know what their foresight was on the UI. I don't know what their game plan was, but I mean, most things work well. The menus work well. It's a lot of clicking to get around, but I mean, graphical settings, this is fine. This is fine menus. I can't really fault this. But I mean, just to move around things. I mean, social. It's weird. It's a lot of stick clicking. It's a lot of abnormal buttons. It's a very strange. You know, even care pack, like even kill streaks, got to move over. You can switch your kill streaks to score streaks. Very nice feature, but it's an unintuitive little right trigger on the bottom of the screen. It's not ideal. I know it's a preference, but I think most people that I've talked to, the UI has not been good. So, never heard an issue with the old Call of Duties and UI complaints, so not really sure why they had to go nuclear and redo everything, but that's what we got. So, everything works. Preference, but pretty poor preference if you ask me. So now the elephant in the room, and that is skill-based matchmaking. We all know it's coming. We all knew it was going to be here. And it is what all the new Call of Duties are doing, where every single game mode in here has skill-based matchmaking. Oh, well, not private match or any of that. So I don't know if the co-ops do. That's an interesting thought. But your multiplayer matches, skill-based matchmaking. Social, casual, ranked, doesn't matter what tier you're on. Hardcore, doesn't matter. all skill-based matchmaking. And from what I get from player feedback, that is a negative. They do not like it. It makes the matches very sweaty. If you don't know what skill-based matchmaking is, it's where the game uses different metrics and algorithms to pool your performance and to put you in games with people of equal performance and equal playstyles. That playstyle thing does not seem to be accurate at all. And the performance thing, well, we'll get a little bit in a bit. But what it does do is it makes all the games sweaty. Because every single game you're going to drop into, there are people of around your skill level, some a little bit more, some a little bit less. So you always have to try as hard as you can every game. And this is the major con of this Call of Duty, and why this review is actually more of a thumbs down for the game as a whole. And that is because all of these new features, and let's even go where challenges are. Even these challenges. What's my challenge for today? Kills with a sniper. Kills with overkill. Long shot kills. Okay. These weapons, you have to use weapons maybe you're not good with, maybe don't fit your play style, maybe aren't the meta weapons, maybe they're subpar weapons. And you have to use them to unlock things in the game. You have to play with things you don't always want to unlock things in the game and to get your challenges. And while that alone is a massive pro in my book, I support that 100%. I love the idea, love the concept. The skill-based matchmaking makes that a nightmare. So you're going to jump into these games with people of all your skill levels. They are all using the meta guns. They are all using the meta playstyles. And they're trying to do their best with the best they have. And you're jumping in there with some gun that you have no attachments for, doesn't fit your playstyle, and maybe isn't even good for the map that you're on, and you're trying to unlock a camo. Well, your experience is going to be subpar. Subpar to miserable. And I don't see the benefit in that. So basically, they have effectively killed all of the pros in this game simply by having skill-based matchmaking. You cannot have fun doing all of the new features they added that should add an incredible amount of fun and longevity to this game. So that is a huge con, and it cannot be ignored. On the other side, I don't think the skill-based matchmaking system works very well. Every game I'm in, somebody is getting 30 plus kills, and then somebody else is getting 15 plus deaths with basically no kills. The in-game competitiveness from best to worst is a massive skill gap. Massive. Somebody is having a terrible time every game, and somebody is running around like crazy out of their skill gap. So I don't think the system's working. And on top of that, it seems like every time you do well in a couple matches, 2, 3, 4 matches, you're put in with people who are just using the cheesiest tactics and the best guns and are trying their hardest, working together like you're way over your head, and you start to struggle immediately, and then you struggle for a couple of games, and then you put back into a bunch of lots that are, well, you're basically a god. So then you just run them over for 3, 4 matches, and then you're put back in the other cycle, and it doesn't seem like you ever hit the middle. So the system isn't good, at least not what it's meant to do. So I don't really know why we keep pushing the system onto the players. But what it is good at, and if you ever want to ruin one of your friends' lives, go ahead and party up with one of your friends that are new to the game, maybe not very good at the game, and hop in a lobby, because it's going to match you to your skill, and that poor soul is coming along for the ride. So if they're new, you want to play with your significant other, maybe a child, maybe just a friend who's not very good at first-person shooters, well, prepare to watch them get absolutely dominated. And they will have the worst experience ever in any video game and probably never play the thing again, ever. So it is good at that. I guess that's a thing. But Otherwise, it's all terrible, and it ruins all of the good things they added to this game. Basically, every pro I listed, that single feature, and that's not new to this game, that's been in the past couple Call of Duties, but it has ruined every pro. So, that's awesome. But that is basically just my simple breakdown. That is what I believe the game is. Would I recommend it? Well, it depends. If you know what you're getting into, probably, yes. If you're a Call of Duty player and you are used to dealing with all the stuff, yeah, go right ahead. Like I said, I have 30 plus hours in this game on like day 4. I'm going to put a whole lot more hours in this game going forward. It's very likely going to be the most prominent Call of Duty as far as my playtime goes that I've ever done. And I am having a very good time. Hopefully they fix your server crashes, and I do believe they will. Most Call of Duties have pretty not ideal launches, although most of it's server issues. This one seems to be game issues, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But I have faith. Activision has enough money. They'll get it fixed. And I enjoy it. But that big con is making this a very hard to recommend game to the average casual person. Because at the end of the day, all of these modes are all nice, casual, sit down with your friends, have some drinks, have a good time, but they're not. They're skill-based matchmaking, they are super sweaty games, and as you're trying to have fun, just enjoy yourself, maybe an above average player and unlock a bunch of stuff, your time's very likely to be miserable. Yeah, maybe not miserable, but not that enjoyable, because you're rarely going to do well. You're going to struggle, you're going to continue the struggle, and the game is going to make sure that you continue the struggle. And even though you've probably improved significant amounts from the time you logged into that game on day 1, you barely notice it, because the game never lets you. So, I'm used to that. Many Call of Duty players are used to that. I don't think many enjoy that, but it's what we got. So that's it. Thank you for taking time to watch this review. It's our first ever review, so any feedback, let us know. Join us at uncrownedgaming.com. We have some guides coming out for this game very soon, and your feedback is always appreciated. Other than that, have a great day, and thank you.